you guys want to see how absolutely fast I can destroy this knife edge and bring it back to razor sharp, then stick around. All right, so before I absolutely destroy this knife edge, I want to show you a few different tests that I like to use when I sharpen knives. Paper cut test, rolled up paper towel or toilet paper test. In this case, it's paper towel. And then in this case, I want to use cardboard as well, because a knife will generally cut cardboard even if it's semi-dull or decently dull, but I want to get it to the point where it can not even bite into this. So let's start with the paper cut test. Very smooth. So the knife cuts paper okay, not perfectly. Let's see how it cuts paper towel. Okay, so that's no problem. That shows the knife is definitely apexed. Let's see how it cuts some cardboard. Yeah. Okay, so it cuts decent right now. Let's get this brick and make sure it doesn't cut at all. That should do a few years of damage to it. We'll see. See how it cuts the paper towel rolled up. Okay, so we're barely biting through that. See how we can do with some cardboard. Okay, so yeah, that is definitely quite dull. Wonder if it's dull enough to run across my hand and not cut me. Yeah, that is butter knife dull. Let's restore that. Just give me 1 sec to get my sharpening stone. I really did want to showcase this Veneve stone. So this is a combo stone, basically meaning that on this side, it's 100 grit, which is extremely coarse. It's the side we're going to use. And then this bottom side here is a 240 grit. I really wanted to showcase the stone to show how fast it can bring back a really, really terribly dull edge, because I haven't been able to showcase it since I unboxed it. So that's what this video is for. I will start on this side of the knife and show you what I would do if I were to have this dull of a knife. Now that, having a knife this dull is not insanely common. I never let my knives get this dull. But if you get knives from somebody, like a friend that's never sharpened their kitchen knives, this can be the type of nightmare you have to deal with. This is sliding around. I was wondering how this is gonna do. You'd be surprised on how fast a super coarse stone like this can bring back an edge. And this is actually one of the most important parts of sharpening a knife, is the starting process. If you're gonna go through a series of stones, you wanna get this step right first, because if you don't apex your knife off the first stone, you're not gonna really improve it that much with other stones. It may cut a slight bit smoother, but it's not gonna cut as good as it could if you did this part correctly. All right, so let me see what we're doing to this edge so far. Still feels fairly dull. I got a pretty good burr though. So I'm gonna switch sides. Doing a lot of ambidextrous sharpening, so I'm gonna have to just go like this for the moment. So because this is so dull, I'm gonna actually do a decent amount of strokes on each side before I start alternating. because I've got quite a bit of damage to repair. But I did want to show you how fast you can. Try not to let your knife do that, by the way, slip off the stone. If it happens, it's not the end of the world. This is not the most adequate setup, so that's why it's happening. This thing's moving while I'm sharpening, but this could show you in the field. If you didn't have the most adequate setup, this is what you might have to deal with, which is fine. Make do with what you got. So yeah, I'm super impressed with this Veneve stone. Its only downfall is that it's so small. It's not the stone's fault, I bought it like that. But they actually didn't have any of the 8x3s in stock. They have a few different series, and all of them were out of stock, and I can see why. They're so great. But it's kind of disappointing because I would like to get a larger size of this stone. I might not go this coarse. I might go something like I think they have a combination of like a 4 and 800, which would do just, you know, tons of good work if I could get it, but we'll see. I'm not sure if they're going to be restocking them soon or not. All right, let's see what we got going. Yeah, we don't even have a burr on this side yet. So I might do a little bit more aggressive strokes. Do the push and pull method here. Yeah, I wrecked this edge on that stone purposefully to show you that if you have a coarse stone, you can get this edge back and you can get it very sharp. Just gonna have to switch this crate around because doing this ambidextrous, it's how I've been liking to sharpen lately. It's actually quite challenging for me. I like the challenge. What's amazing about this Veneve stone is it's super coarse, which you'd almost never be able to tell by how it sounds. I've used a lot of DMT sharpeners, and they are very, very loud and aggressive sounding. And this is actually technically coarser than the coarsest DMT that I know of, which is their 220 grit. And this thing barely makes any sound compared to it. Starting to feel a little better. Yeah, so this is like nightmare knife to sharpen, especially if you're a beginner. You just don't want to have to deal with something this butter knife dull. These are the knives that I would say stay away from and never try to sharpen as a beginner, because you are not going to probably get a good result, and it's just going to frustrate you, which is not even worth it. It's already frustrating enough beginning sharpening, so all right, let's see what we're doing here. Now we're starting to get something back here. Not sure how sharp we have it yet, but can do a little bit of testing here in a sec. See if we have anything back. We'll fly. dry up a little bit. All right, let's see if we've done anything to this yet. Actually, let me feel. Okay, it's not completely even yet. Let me do a little bit of work on this side. Try and even this out a little bit. Nice to hear the frogs back out and the birds. Winter is no bueno. All right, let's and just kind of use this paper towel and see if it'll even cut through it at all. Like it ripped it more than it cut it. Let's see. A little bit. Let's see with some paper. Let me grab some paper and see if it has restored at all. Let's see here. Doesn't look like it so far. Okay, so I gotta do some more work. I definitely dulled this thing really, really bad. Let's see, well, I mean, it will cut. Look at that. Paper cut test is good to test the evenness of your knife edge, and I haven't really deburred this perfectly. Let's just check really quickly how it will cut. Rolled up paper towel. See if it will do that yet. Yeah, pretty good. I mean, it's cutting through it completely. I gotta use a little force. So it's getting close. This actually right now I could use this right in the kitchen. Of course I would strap it, and I will strap it in a sec here, but what I'll just do is try and even out this edge even more, do some stropping strokes on the stone, and then I will strap it with a leather strap. But there you go. I mean, it would already cut some vegetables. It cut through the cardboard and the paper towel, no problem. So technically, you could use this in the kitchen. Would it be perfect right now? Maybe not perfect, but it would definitely do the job. It'd be a very toothy edge, a very coarse edge, coarse stone that I'm using. But for a paring knife in the kitchen, that might be nice for, cutting potatoes, carrots, things that are a little harder anyway. Maybe an onion, small onion. Oh. So there you have it. I mean, it's pretty much getting back to how it should be, a decent edge. And that didn't take too long for how bad the damage was. I mean, this thing was severely damaged. Like I said, as a beginner, that is an absolute nightmare. If you were going to try and sharpen something like that, and a lot of times, that's what beginner sharpeners are dealing with. At least that's what I did. And I have some friends that have said the same thing, that they've tried sharpening their knives and they just give up. But they're starting with knives of this quality. I mean, this is a dirt cheap paring knife. I have no idea what kind of stainless steel this is. And just not the highest quality. Definitely the worst knife to try and start with sharpening. All right, what we're gonna do is just dry up this edge, strap it, and go with it. Because this knife, I think, is in decent condition now. Grab the strap. Oh, get this out of the way. Make sure this thing's dried off. Yeah, this thing is quite coarse. I can feel how coarse this edge is on this strap, and it's pretty intense. I mean, you're talking like crazy coarse feeling. When you're strapping, try to maintain the exact angle that you had while you were sharpening. All right, let's give it a little paper cut test. See if it can cut any paper now. Well, there you go. So now she's back to slicing paper. Was it doing it flawlessly? Not exactly, but from how absolutely dull that was, to be able to even slice paper at all, that is definitely impressive. Now, what I could do to make the sliced paper even better is just keep deburring it, keep taking it on the stone and a little bit more on the strap, and it would completely even out the edge. But I want to show you how it cuts cardboard and this rolled up paper towel now that it's apexed again. All right. There we go. Let's see how it does. And there you go. Back to cutting through that, no issue. We have now apexed and restored that pathetically dull. I mean, you're talking, that is not the kind of knife I would want to sharpen ever. But look at that. I mean, you're talking razor sharp again. And that is a testament to Veneve diamond stones. And this thing is ready to rock again. So there you have it. Veneve 100 grit. If you have a pathetically dull knife, get one of these guys or get anything that is about this coarse, anything around the 300 or less range will bring back something that pathetically dull. I hope you enjoyed. I appreciate you joining me. If you did like this video, I'd love it if you would just smash on that like button for me. If you think these videos would help anyone that's trying to learn to sharpen, please send them to them. Appreciate you joining me today. You guys have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.